game. Blouses.
Gallon chuck.
Disaster.
Spaghetti.
Disaster.
Well, I mean, I'm no doctor.
We now join America's most popular show, already in progress. Everybody loves
Mitch and Sean. You guys are the greatest duo.
Fantastic.
That team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
No spill.
Hello, and welcome to the Post Game Pints podcast. My name's Mitch Gallo with Sean Campbell. Sean, what were you pouring there? Thank you to LaBrosse for being a proud sponsor on the show. I don't think I've seen that beer. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying an Angry Gallo Ale right now. I know you saw during the weekend, I think it was, I had a Campbell play-by-play IPA. It found its way into one of my Instagram stories.
Yeah, and you didn't tag me until I asked to be tagged.
Yes, but you got tagged eventually. I didn't even know it was going to be in the picture. I'm not the photographer.
I know. I didn't message you either.
most of my pictures are not taken by me, but it was quite delicious with the meal I was having. But what's that turquoise bluish beer you're having over there?
All right, so I have the Lab Series, and the Lab Series is so different. And we know we've talked to Dan before, and Alex. They're doing such a good job of kind of targeting different types of beers and different flavors, and they're kind of challenging themselves and doing different flavors. This is the Lab 7. It's a strong beer. It's called Clouds Over Columbus and Citra Mosaic Columbus. Oh man, I've had this one a couple of times. I'm a big fan of the Lab Series 7. I mean, there's a whole bunch of whatever you can think of, and check it out in the Lab Series. They've been releasing a whole bunch lately. I think they're up to 10 or 11. This is the Lab Series 7. Absolutely.
When did you get that?
Oh, yeah. I was by there this weekend, chatted up with Alex. And hung out with Dan,
it was.
Saw Catherine. If I'm in the neighborhood, check it out. LaBrosse, 133 LaBrosse in Point Claire, LaBrosse.com. Go get your Campbell play-by-play IPA. I mean, I saw that palette of the Campbell play-by-play IPA. It is getting lower. I know that the Angry Gallo Ale is still there. I'm just saying on that beer sales, I am with a big lead right now, Mitch Gallo, a big lead. And there's going to be some sort of consequence coming your way. I am sure of it. Unless your mom's ready to go buy a whole bunch of cases of beer right now.
I think I'm just going to have to start drinking more.
I told you, I help you out. I have the Angry Gallo Ale all the time. So here we are on the Post Game Pints podcast. This one's going to be a little Montreal Canadiens heavy because they kind of went through their COVID protocol week, and there was tons of news to get to, Mitch. Why don't we start with the biggest one that I'm the most excited about, Eric Staal.
Yeah, Eric Staal. So he comes in on that trade, Campbell, 3rd and 5th round pick going the other way. The important thing here is the Canadiens, Buffalo rather, eats half the salary to facilitate the trade. I don't remember when it was. Maybe it was 2 podcasts ago. I'm kind of losing track. We're doing so many of these things. But I told you that I thought Mark Bergevin, I'll say this in a nice way, I thought he was fibbing when he said that he couldn't make a move. I told you I thought that he was not being truthful. And I like this explanation. He's like, sometimes I can't be forthcoming with all the information. I felt that the Canadiens needed a 4th-line center. I'm going to be very honest with you, though. I did not think the 4th-line center was going to be Eric Staal because I didn't think Eric Staal was going to waive his no-trade clause to come to Montreal. And Montreal was one of his 10 teams on the list. But the Canadian government facilitates the move by reducing the quarantine from 14 days down to 7. And Eric Staal says, okay, you know what? That's palatable. I can deal with a 7-day quarantine, 14 out of the question. So all that stuff gets done. But Campbell on the ice, I love the move, and I know you're excited.
Yeah, here's the thing. I've been an Eric Staal fan for a long time. I've loved it. I know he's not the same Eric Staal, and I didn't want his career to dwindle out the way it was in Buffalo. I hope that there's just this rejuvenation, but I think any player that leaves Buffalo is going to be rejuvenated. And getting a player to waive a no trade clause in Buffalo is like, okay, I'm out. We'll see you later. I want to. There's just nothing good in Buffalo. So waiving the no trade clause, the quarantine helped. But if Montreal was the only option, then maybe that was the only option. He would have waived it anyways. If it was 14 days, it's not ideal, but it's the situation. To the player, look, first off, that I'm a big Jake Evans fan, but Eric Staal is better than Jake Evans, straight up. They do different things on the ice, and the Canadians got him for free. I know that there's cap issues with the Canadians. They got Buffalo to take half, which is the max that they can take. And they traded away a third and a fifth round pick, in which the Canadians had 3 thirds and 3 fifths that they would have never used. They would have moved them to next year. They just have way too many draft picks in a draft that no one knows if anybody's going to be good. I mean, they got a free player, and his name is Eric Staal. I haven't seen him play a game yet, and I don't see the negative view on this whatsoever.
I'd love to play devil's advocate and give you some kind of opposing view, but Sean, I don't see any real downside here. The only thing I'll add is that in recent memory, the Canadians have had a good track record of finding guys closer to the end of their career than the beginning of their career and squeezing some life out of them. They're doing it right now with Corey Perry. They did it last year with Ilya Kovalchuk. And there's been other examples of recent vintage of guys who have come in and given them a little bit of production towards the end of their careers.
You say production, but I'll just say just good hockey. What about Jordy Ben? Jordy Ben has a tough time getting into Vancouver's lineup on a game-by-game basis. He only gets in because of injury to players. He gave you solid minutes with the Canadians.
Yeah, I'll give you another name, Campbell.
Sure.
How about now I'm going back a little bit, but how about Thomas Fleischmann?
Yeah, you got that little piece of Thomas Fleischmann that you wanted, then you were able to ship him off and get Philip Deneau. Like it just there's these little things.
And Romanov, but
whatever. But Weiss and Fleischmann for Deneau and Romanov. That one
worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I think that worked out pretty well. All right, so let's go instead of on the older side. Why don't we go on the younger side? Canadians, they finally did it with their 2019 draft pick, drafted in Vancouver, first-round pick Cole Caulfield, finally leaves Wisconsin after 2 years, likely going to win the Hobey Baker Award. It doesn't really matter if he does or doesn't. He's in quarantine right now, but they don't send him to the Canadians. One, they don't have room, but they send him to Laval. His pro career is starting very soon.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to be able to do in the short term. I think long term, it's a slam dunk that he's going to be a goal scorer at the professional level. Just how soon and how much? You're going to be watching him very closely, obviously, calling Laval Rocket games. I can't remember a prospect playing on that team where people were as intrigued as they are for Cole Caulfield. Like you look back and Kotkaniemi made his debut with the Canadians. I know he played briefly with the Rocket. Paling made his debut with the Canadians. Yeah. Galchenyuk made his debut with the Canadians. Romanov comes in and he was from Russia and made his debut with the Canadians. Like I can't remember the first look at the professional level being with the Laval Rocket, and I think that's very exciting. Now, eventually, I think the Canadians have such a compressed schedule that they're going to use this guy with the top tier team. I think he's going to play with the Montreal Canadiens. Now, I'm fascinated to see how they deal with all the salary cap implications, but I think they're going to maneuver the taxi squad, the regular squad, guys. It'll be a jigsaw puzzle with the cap, but eventually I think they're going to want to throw as many different bodies onto that Canadiens roster as possible, especially if they're fairly comfortable, which I think they're going to be fairly comfortable with, like, I don't know, maybe 12 games remaining with their positioning. I don't think they really care if they're going to be 3 or 4 or home ice. It's just get in and then make sure you're as rested as possible for the playoff push. So I think we're going to see him with the Habs at some point because they're going to want to give him a look, give him a chance, and also rest some of their other offensive players.
All right, so yeah, and here's the other thing: the salary cap, and we know what Tampa's going to be kind of doing with Kucherov. They're just sitting there because of LTIR. The Canadians don't have LTIR, but they could also just let Cole Caulfield play 20 games in Laval, and then when the playoffs roll around, he's on the team. These are things that happen. He's part of the organization, and that so you may not see him in the regular season, and maybe they can finagle something like a game or two in those final 12 games that you think that they're going to be comfortable, but maybe they can't with roster players. And not that Cole Caulfield's expensive, but just the fact that they would have to drop someone or someone has to go on waivers. But you don't have to do that once the playoffs start. Your taxi squad just gets a whole lot bigger, and you have those black aces. And he's a player that you could be using. It could be a playoff weapon, and he may only make his regular season debut next season. I really think with the acquisition they have, because if the Canadians stay healthy, there's no room for Cole Caulfield. If they're healthy, they're probably going to win. He's a right winger. Are you taking Corey Perry out for Cole Caulfield? Not right now.
Maybe for a few
we
games,
could talk. Maybe we could talk about Armia, but not right now. You still have Toffoli, who's a right winger playing on the left side.
Yeah.
You have Anderson, you have Gallagher. There's no right wing spot, and I don't think you're throwing Caulfield over on the left. He's a right winger and he's a rookie. The patience might be waiting for an injury in the playoffs, or just 1, 2, 3, bam, he's up there because they're in a need. So I know people are rushed and say he's ready now. Even if he is ready now, it's fine that he's in Laval.
Yeah, I'm with you. And again, I'm always reluctant to talk about today's roster tomorrow, because things can change.
Oh yeah,
with the snap of two fingers.
Oh yeah, I listed off a bunch of names, but then there's a bunch of names that are still even on their tech. Like it's so deep with NHL players, and you don't. I think you and I agree. We think he's an NHL player, and I've never seen him play pro hockey. I'm gonna wait till I see him play pro hockey before I make that determination that he's ready. I think he will be ready, but maybe he needs a week or two or a month. Maybe he needs 2 months to get used to playing against 25-year-olds that are going to be throwing him around the ring. Maybe.
Yeah. And we've seen some other guys, like you mentioned, jump in from college into playoff hockey. I know Mike Matheson did that with the Florida Panthers. He goes straight from college to the NHL. More recently, we saw Cale Makar really have an impact too, right off the hop with Colorado in playoff hockey. So a lot of racetrack here to work with, and we could talk about him maybe a little bit down the line as far as if he should play with the Habs after watching him, as you mentioned, play some pro hockey.
All right, last one here on the rapid fire before we get into editor headlines here on the Post Game Pints podcast. Campbell and Gallo. Mitch, do you think Marc Bergevin's done? Do you think he might make a move just to get rid of a player?
I think it's very possible that he tries to free up cap space and gets rid of a player, and then maybe even brings somebody else in. I don't think he's done. Now, if he can't come to a deal with another team at this time, then maybe it's out of his hands. But I think he's working the phones, and I think it's very likely that Artturi Lehkonen would be a player that would move. I think $2.4 million is digestible. I think he's a useful player. And I also think that he's under team control still. He's not coming up
more
on
valuable.
He's a valuable guy at 2.4 and coming up on restricted free agency instead of UFA status. I think you could potentially move that contract and then maybe facilitate moving guys on and off the taxi squad. Because right now they're right up against it. I think it's going to be hard to rid yourself of that Paul Byron contract. I'd be surprised if a team took it. And I still think he'd like to tinker with his blue line a little bit. That fourth line center was obviously a gaping hole, but that blue line, I don't think it's exactly solidified. One more injury, Campbell, and that blue line is in big time trouble. So I wouldn't be surprised if he still tried to bring somebody in.
But they get to determine over the next few weeks with Sherrod out if they really need that. I think the blue line question comes in a little bit later. If they really don't like what they're getting from Mete, because I think that's the only question mark, because I think that they are ecstatic with what's happening with Kulak. And I do.
But Campbell, he loves adding defensemen, even if they're not going to necessarily play.
No,
I'm not saying it has to be someone who's in their six, but somebody who's a body on the outside, where if you run into trouble in the playoffs, somebody's banged up, somebody's not playing well, you have the option to make a change, because right now they don't have that.
Well, I think the idea is over the next 2 weeks, they're going to evaluate if Mete is that guy. He said earlier he didn't want to trade Mete because he thought Mete was that guy.
Right.
And if Sherratt comes back, you could keep Kulak and Petrie together, put Sherratt with Weber, and then Edmondson, as I call him, Steady Eddie. You get to put him with a guy like Alex Romanov, which I don't know why they haven't done that yet. Romanov and Edmondson. It will just allow Romanov to explore a little bit more because you have Steady Eddie next to him versus all the other guys.
Eddie.
You like that nickname, Steady Eddie, because that's exactly what he is. So I'm with you. Just on the Lehkonen, this is the one thing, and this is, I don't want to be insulting to a player or anything. Arturi Lehkonen, as much as you can love him and say that he works hard, whatever, he is an incredibly replaceable player. That's all it is. It's not like, he's a good penalty killer, he's a good forechecker, he's a good skater, smart hockey player, everything. He's a bona fide NHLer. There's no doubt about it in my mind. But you can find another player like that if you need.
Of course.
So by trading it away now, you may not be able to get that player back in return, but by next year, starting the season, you'll have another Arturi Lehkonen.
Totally with you.
All right, Mitch.
Yeah.
First, I want to give a little shout out. How's Vader and Wolfpacks? Wolfpacks.ca, proud partner here on the Post Game Pints podcast. Check out their website. It's a subscription based. You subscribe, and all you do is get mail. And it's not mail for you. It's mail for your puppy. It's mail for your dog, and they get excited. Usually they hate the mailman. This makes them love the mailman. Wolfpacks.ca.
Woof, 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 woof. Campbell, it makes me, I want you to have a dog so you could experience the wolf pack. Now, Vader likes, so it comes in a box, and Vader likes digging into the box, and there's some fun treats and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed some of the hockey themed stuff they sent me. Hockey squish toys and things of that nature, and Vader's just whipping around in the living room and having a lot of fun. So it's a surprise for your dog, but I know dog owners, they're kind of funny people when it comes to their dogs and the toys and everything like that. I think the dog owners are almost going to get a kick out of these toys as much as the dogs will.
All right. Well, Mitch, here's the thing. I was telling my boys, if I did get a dog, are you decently bilingual? Like how well do you know? So
I understand 100%, and I speak maybe at 60%.
Okay, but this is kind of like this is a play on words in French that I'm not sure if you understand what it means, but I'm going to say it anyway. So all our francophone listeners here on the Post Game Pints podcast will enjoy this. So my boys said, "What would you name the dog?" And then I would say I would name him Sauce. You would name him Sauce. Why? Because then I could say, "Hey, do you want me to introduce you to my pet sauce? Well, pet sauce. Do you know what a pet sauce is?
I don't know what a pet sauce is. I know Fritz sauce.
Yeah, or pet sauce. Anyways, my boys really thought it was a funny joke. I'll just let that sit there.
Sounds like a dad joke. You're not going to explain it to me?
Well, you know what a pet is?
Yes. I don't get it.
Well, in pet sauce, there you go. Anyways, nonetheless.
Okay.
It's good. All right, you ready for editor headlines? My editor headlines will be better than that, I promise.
I hope so.
Well, no, that's good. Trust me, if you were francophone, you would know exactly what that means.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to start? Yeah, you usually start on this. Editor headlines. This is where we don't write the stories. The stories are out there. We just write the headlines. And you get a thumbs up, boop, or a thumbs down.
All right. So I don't have any wows in this one, but okay. I think it's consistent, like 5 strong. Nothing amazing, but 5 strong. And I'm going to start with the Montreal Canadiens signing Cole Caulfield to that contract that we spoke about.
Okay.
So my first headline reads, Field Day.
I don't know about that one. I'm not sure. A Caulfield day. I do have a Cole Caulfield one, so I'm gonna just kind of go off of you, and I'm gonna see how it goes because I don't know which ones are good or bad on mine, but I think my Cole Caulfield one is much better than your Cole Caulfield one. How's that?
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how many Cole Caulfield ones you have though. But Cole Caulfield signs with the Canadians, and we all thought he was going to sign with the Canadians, not with the Laval Rocket. And a lot of people were like, "How he should be coming with the Canadians? Let him score right away. Get to the NHL. There's a spot for him. Just throw him on the." Anyways, so a lot of people felt like Cole was buried in Laval.
I don't think that was better than mine.
Oh, come on.
I have a second one though, so I'm going to try to improve on my first one.
Okay.
Okay, so the Canadians sign Cole Caulfield to that entry level deal.
Yeah.
So here's my headline, Sean, and I think you're going to like this one. Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold.
I just picture him coming out and slamming chairs into the head of the Rock and dragging Mankind on top of the Rock, and then just walking away, giving the finger to Vincent McMahon, and then Mankind wins the championship. That's the only thing I'm thinking about right now.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of disappointed. I know March has now shifted to April, and we never celebrated 316 Day. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. We missed the boat this year.
I even on Instagram, I was like 2 days late into sending in the photo that I wanted to send. I was like, I had this perfect Stone Cold. Oh yeah, Stone Cold. I like that one. Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold. Too bad his name's not Steve Cole. That'd be great.
He's trying to find something.
Steve. All right.
I am going to start calling his shot when he scores. I am going to start saying it's a Stone Cold stunner.
Yeah, I might do that on the Laval Rocket.
I think you should.
He breaks the glass. Stone Cold. Stone Cold. His first day joke. No, sorry. I don't want to give you everything. All right. So you mentioned it that you didn't believe Marc Bergevin when he said that he wasn't going to trade, and then he lied, right? Did he lied?
I like to say he fibbed.
Oh no! Come on, let's go. He lied. He lied to everybody. I can't make a deal. Whatever. Right?
He lied.
And
yes.
what do you say to liars? Right? Liars, pants on fire.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not my headline. Okay, don't worry. But I just want you to know that is what everybody says. So my headline reads: "Lie puts Bergie in hot seat."
All right. You're improving as we go here.
Yeah,
That's
not bad. It doesn't always have to rhyme,
I know.
I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on Stone Cold. Stone Cold.
Maybe I should have saved that one for last.
That was good. That was good.
But I know
might
we
use
often think alike, so I was worried that maybe you were going to use something like that. Mm-hmm. All right. My next headline has to do with the fact that the NHL they won't have Tim Peel reffing any more games because he got caught on the microphone and yada yada yada. So my headline reads: NHL slips on appeal.
I'm with you. I feel like something's missing. There's you're right. It's good. It's not great. I feel like you could tweak it a little bit. I don't know. There's something there. There's something you can add in or change.
Yeah, I was working at it. At it.
Maybe we'll just ask. You could comment below on YouTube. You could comment wherever you're listening on SoundCloud. You throw to it our Instagram or Twitter. Sean R. Campbell, Mitch Y. Gallo. Hey, our Instagram and Twitter are the same. Both you and I. We're smart that way to not have different accounts. It's the same handle. Give us if you think you could do a little bit better than slipping on appeal. It's good. It's not great.
I was also trying to work around it. I'm like, hot mic, cold result.
Yeah, I know what you mean. All right, I'm going to go with the Eric Staal acquisition for the Canadians. I got a couple on this.
Okay.
All right. So the Canadians, they make that move. Marc Bergevin lied, and they make that move. So a lot of people would say the Habs are Staal in.
All right. Yep, that one's all right. And my final two are about Eric Staal too.
All right.
So my first one for Eric Staal, it is Bergevin is your typical know it Staal.
No. I'm glad you did that one first before your last one. I hope your last one was much better than that one. I hope your first one was the last one. Oh, that was bad. That was bad. Yeah, they weren't all good, Mitch. They weren't all quality because that was.
They never are.
Yeah, maybe this one's not that good too, but this one's about Eric Staal, but there's kind of repercussions in the end, right? The Canadians acquire Eric Staal. What's the first reaction to everybody? Well, Jake Evans is out. Right, it's just fourth line center out. He's young, old man comes in, right? But you never know what's going to happen in the end because you still haven't done the math. Injuries, maybe someone moves on the wing, maybe someone gets hurt. It doesn't matter. So my headline reads, "Well, it all evens out."
All right, I actually don't mind that one. It's not amazing, but it's there.
Yeah, you'll like my last one.
I think you'll like my last one. And we go back in time a little bit here. I think you're gonna love it, but also just hate it.
Okay, those are my favorite, by the way.
Yeah,
Stone Cold.
So my final headline for the Eric Staal acquisition by the Montreal Canadiens is "'Cause I'm free Stalin."
You just totally stole that from Christian Poland. You 100%. Oh, I like it.
I knew you would.
I just like it when you sing.
That was not particularly good either.
Free Stalin. That's not bad. Now I just want to listen to that song. All right, my final one. It's with the Eric Staal leaving the Buffalo Sabres, pending UFA. Sabres are in a tailspin. Canadians acquire Eric Staal, but then now there's a whole lot of questions around the Sabres. Will Taylor Hall get traded? Is he traded? Is he out of Buffalo? And we saw Taylor Hall made that choice to go to Buffalo, and Staal didn't really have a choice to go to Buffalo, but then it didn't really happen. And in the offseason, the Sabres are probably going to go in the offseason and do whatever they can. And then the Pugulas are going to say, hey, we're going to spend money. We're going to do all this, right? But this is how the free agents are going to react now when they look at the Buffalo Sabres. Okay. This is exactly what's going to happen. Okay. All these, documents and all these offers are going to come in, and the free agent's just going to go, Buff, pass.
Not your best work.
I thought you would like Buff, pass.
I like it better now that I think about it.
Come on. Buff,
took me a while to clue in. Sounds like one I would throw out there before you.
I know. I just thought, things change, man. The older you get, everyone I did was a thinker, by the way. They weren't straight up. They were all thinkers. All right. Before we wrap things up on this episode of the Post Game Pints podcast, Campbell and Gallo brought you the pop quiz is coming up. Brought to you by Cunningham's Pub. Mitch, I saw your spread, by the way.
Which one?
The one of the Cunningham's Pub wings.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Campbell, let me tell you, I had mild, honey garlic, Jamaican jerk, and barbecue.
Oh, the Jamaican jerk. I couldn't believe how good that.
It's the first time I had that one.
The sauce, that's the one I got the extra sauce I told you about. Oh man, I ate everything with that sauce for days on days. How much extra sauce did you buy?
I didn't buy any extra sauce. I'm gonna have to go back, I think. I had a lot of ranch. The thing about the Jamaican jerk, though, I want to tell people that the description on the menu, Cunningham's kind of pulled like a Mark Bergevin here. They fibbed because they made it sound like the Jamaican jerk was going to be super spicy.
No, it's tasty. It's super tasty.
We're so like hesitant. We're like, okay, because they're 911 ones. Yeah, 911 wings and 911 ones. If you eat them and you don't love spice, your mouth's gonna be in fuego.
No.
You have to know. You're gonna be pulling one
Jamaican,
of these, right?
The Jamaican jerk, like spice there. It's so tasty. It's incredible. I couldn't get enough of it.
You're going to be pulling one of these if you have the 911. You're going to be eating the wings. You're going to be sipping your Angry Gal Ale or your Campbell Play-by-Play IPA, and you're going to be going like this. Because you're just going to feel the heat getting sucked in. But the Jamaican jerk is just tasty. It's not super, super spicy. So that was relatively surprising. But no, Campbell, thanks to Cunningham's, they gave me a great spread, as you mentioned. And boy, oh boy, was it good. Plus, I had some leftovers too, which was nice.
Yeah, my spread's coming soon. I'm going to have another spread. I'm telling you.
Another spread.
Very, very soon. Yeah.
You just had one.
Yeah, I need more. I'm telling you. I'm a wing freak. You know that I am. All right. We got to get this done. Mitch, I got a pop quiz for you, and it's brought to you by Cunningham's Pub. All right. I'm going to ask you. I'm kind of asking you how many you think you can get. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
With the acquisition of Eric Staal, got me thinking about brothers in the National Hockey League.
Okay.
I want to ask you how many. Oh, by the way, first here's a quick question. It's not the actual. How many brother combinations do you think are currently playing in the NHL? By currently playing, I mean both brothers have played a game this year. How many brother combinations do you think there are?
It's hard right off the top of my head.
No, just give me a number. This is not part of the
5.
quiz. Okay, there's 18.
18?
How many of the 18 do you think you can name?
5.
All right, go. Name the 5. You said you can do 5. This is your pop quiz. I told you I would tell you how many you can name. Let's see how many you can name. You say you can only name 5 of the 18. There are 18, which blew my mind, by the way. And there's a whole bunch others of guys that are in the AHL but not playing this year. But there are 18 brother combinations of 2 players that have played an NHL game this year. 18, which this is why I teach things here on the pop quiz of the post game pints. So quickly, can you name the 5?
Okay, there's 2 Tanevs.
Yep. Do you know their first names?
Chris and Brandon.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's 3 Staals.
Yep.
2 Subans.
Yep, Subban. That's 3.
This is really hard, man. Has Suzuki's brother played with the Hurricanes this year?
Nope.
And only Hayden Fleury's played. Cale Fleury has not played this year. So there's another combination down the tubes.
Yeah.
Is there 2 Sutters?
Nope.
No. Figure hockey family.
Come on, there's some brothers you are definitely missing here that you should know.
Yeah.
I think you undershot at 5. Maybe
has Alex Nylander played with in the NHL?
Nope. He's with Chicago.
Yeah.
You know your AHL affiliates here. I think Alex has been mostly on taxi squad too.
Well, the thing is, it's because Suzuki's brother was a first-round pick, and Alex Nylander.
But there's other brothers. Come on, there's other brothers.
And Hayden Fleury was a first-round pick, so it's like it's easy to go to those guys right away.
All right, you got 2 minutes. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm really drawing blanks here. I bet you there's some obvious ones too.
Yeah, there's definitely some obvious ones. There's one that has a former Montreal Canadian. There's one with a former Montreal Canadian.
Have both Van Riemsdyk's played in the NHL this year?
There you go. Very good. That's 4.
What were you saying with your list before? I wasn't listening.
I just said there's one former Montreal Canadian.
A former Montreal Canadian. I already had the Subans.
Yeah, I know.
That doesn't help
already. By the way, already mentioned on the podcast today.
That's just gonna make me think harder. So I'm gonna ignore your clue there.
Okay.
Washington, no. Pittsburgh.
There's a couple young guys. A couple guys that you shouldn't know.
Oh, 2 Stromes.
You got that's 5. That's Dylan and Ryan Strome. So you got 5. Do you want me to run through them?
Which I said I would get. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. You forgot the Matthew and Brady Tkachuk, by the way. You forgot,
of course,
Andre and Evgeny Svechnikov.
I would have forgotten about Evgeny.
Mark and Michael Stone.
Nope.
Brendan Smith and Riley Smith.
Nope.
Luke and Braden Shen.
I should have got that one.
Eric and Buddy Robinson.
No chance. No chance.
Nick
like the
and-
other ones are like whatever, but yeah.
Nick and Brett Ritchie,
Okay. I maybe got that one.
Seth and Caleb Jones,
Okay. No chance I'm getting. I didn't even know Caleb
Jack
Jones was an NHL
and
player.
Quinn Hughes,
That's an obvious one. Okay.
Mikael and Marcus Granlund,
Forget it.
Nick and Marcus Foligno,
Okay, I could have got that one maybe.
Adam and Jesper Boquist,
No chance.
and Jamie and
Jordy Ben. I'm only
who I mentioned already.
Yeah, I'm only upset with two of them that I didn't get them.
18. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so many more. Trust me, I have a list of AHL guys that I had to cross off. I was up to like 25 brother combinations in the NHL. Crazy. But you got 5.
I'm only
Good for
upset.
you.
I'm only upset for missing both Hughes
Good job.
and
Yeah.
Chucks.
Well, that's it for us here on the Post Game Pints podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment below. Listen, subscribe. We love your feedback at Sean R. Campbell, at Mitch Y. Gallo. Of course, this is all brought to you by Trent Dewey Entertainment.
Peace.
Well, how's that for your entertainment value?
They've done their job very, very well.
No.